Hey, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Parker. With me is Trexel.
Hey.
And Jack.
What's up, gamers?
And today we're talking to you about video game delays. Are they good or are they terrible? You'll find out.
Find out.
This week has been kind of crazy for video game delays. Or at least the last couple of weeks has been delay-mageddon. Ubisoft came at us with a bunch of terrible delays. Last of Us 2 is confirmed to be delayed. Just all kinds of craziness is going on. Jack, why don't you hit us with the Last of Us delay info?
Yes. So, Last of Us has been delayed until May 29th, 2020, and it originally had the release date of February 21st of 2020.
It's a pretty big delay. It's 3 months.
Pretty big delay, and they just recently came out with the release date, and then it was a very short period of them delaying it.
Yeah.
But
we talked about it 4 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. But on
what happened?
This Polygon article by Michael McWhorter, that's definitely not his last name. There's a quote from the director himself, Drunkman, which I believe is the director. So also don't quote me on that. That's saying it was during the last few weeks as we were closing in the last section of the games that we realized we simply did not have enough time to bring the entire game up to the level of polish we call Naughty Dog quality. At this point, we were faced with two options: comprise parts of the game or get more time. They obviously went with the latter. And then they said that we hope you understand and that the additional time ensures The Last of Us 2 lives up to our collective ambitions as well as our commitment to the highest quality level of games. So yeah. A very honest and pretty open message and apology for kind of I feel like that Sony was kind of pushing them to have this release date for their PSN showcase.
Yeah, for the oh god, what was it called? I keep calling it the PlayStation Direct, but it was
definitely not that.
State
Whatever,
play,
the PlayStation
State of
Direct.
State of Play. Thank you. Yeah.
Because Naughty Dog feels like a company that is pretty realistic with their release dates.
Mm-hmm.
And knows how they work. And honestly, you didn't hear anything from Naughty Dog at all. The State of Play happens. They released a trailer. I was not in any way expecting a release date. I was even talking to my roommate, and he was like, "They're not gonna. They haven't said anything. Why would they say here's a release date if they've been radio silence for a long time?"
Right.
And then when they did it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Right.
But also, if they said May 29th, I would have also been, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, it's why did they so Sony and Naughty Dog had to spend money to make that State of Play happen,
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, money and time and manpower got spent in creating that whole State of Play. And if you don't think the whole State of Play was just to reveal The Last of Us 2 at the end,
Yeah.
who are you kidding, But they reveal that release date at the end, and it seems for no reason now. So they spent all that money just to put out the release date. Is there something behind it? Are they trying? Did they know they had to delay it? It's a weird miscommunication, and I think it goes back to what we were talking about at one point where we talked about how Sony doesn't know their audience. Are they losing touch with their developers as well? Because Naughty Dog knew they had to delay this thing. There's no way they did. Those are pros.
What's even I don't think they needed a release date at all.
Mm-mm.
They could have done the State of Play. They could have shown that trailer and gameplay footage, and that would have been it, and I would have been sick.
Right.
That was cool. And that would have been it. I wouldn't have thought of anything. It was only a sweet cherry on top that they did have the release date. But now that they're we're gonna push it back, it's not that much of a delay.
No.
It is, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, and
so
no, go for it.
I don't know. I would have been fine with like the February release date. I don't know. It just seems weird.
I'm sure they intended to release in February. I don't think they said that date with the intentions of changing it. What a 3-month window tells me, and like you said, 3 months isn't very long. You can't really. I'm not a game developer, so what do I know? But I can't imagine that you can like change a whole portion of a game with 3 additional months. The original release date was February, so I imagine during this time it's QA testing, so they're like playing through the game and like polishing and fixing whatever they come across. I think they just came across like major deficiencies within the game that, you know, it's not gonna take a whole team. It's not gonna like fix a whole section of a game, but it's like enough to like, when you see it as a consumer, you're gonna look at it and be like, huh?
Yeah, I bet they they just need some extra time. Like that's it for sure.
And then besides Parker's weird and wacky go with Last of Us,
True.
I feel like most Naughty Dog game, in my own personal experience, they have been super clean and like pretty much no glitches for the most part.
Right. Yeah. No.
So
for sure.
like they seem like someone that's like, we're gonna find every single one we can and contain them.
Yeah.
They're not the type that would just be like, ooh, there's a few here and there, but like the fans will be okay. Like their whole thing is like, how seamless can we make this game? Like even in Uncharted 4, like there was like no loading screens ever. Yeah,
there was one at the beginning, and then that was it.
Like it only hit me that there's no loading screens until I died, and they had to like reload like a massive level, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's been 8 hours.
Yeah. I don't think this is troubling news.
No, it just seems like they're trying to make the cleanest game possible, like cleanest experience, and they have a few little bugs here and there.
Yeah, I also don't think Sony's like behind the release date thing or anything, just because all the Sony first party stuff that has come out so far has been like super clean, and obviously the game was done when it came out.
Right.
There was no like game breaking issues with God of War or Spider-Man. Those games just came out good.
Yeah, perfect, good to go.
I feel like Naughty Dog is one of Sony's companies that like they have a lot of pull. I'm sure like the only deadline Sony enforced was get it out on PS4 before PS5 comes out.
But, sure, yeah.
I think they also realize like this is going to be PlayStation 4's last major title before they unveil the next console fully. So I don't think there was like any ill intent behind anyone's part.
No. I don't think so either. It'll be interesting. Like, is this what Last of Us is going to be? Is it going to be like the console ender now? You know, like it's just like honestly, the last time they're doing it again. Like,
what a great ending to a console.
Yeah,
like, that's such a good like last chapter.
Yeah, PS4 has had a really great life cycle, I think. And we're talking about it like it's dead. It's not dead yet. There's still more games. Like Ubisoft has a lot more games that they want to put on the PS4, such as Watch Dogs Legion, which just got delayed. Gods and Monsters, the Zelda like look-alike that they're trying to make, delayed. Rainbow Six Quarantine, which we basically didn't even know existed, boom, delayed. They have delayed.
Rainbow Six?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like Rainbow Six Quarantine, Watch Dogs, and Gods and Monsters. These are like 3 huge IPs that Ubisoft wanted out like in the spring. That's not happening. They have been pushed back until between April 2020 and March 2021. So like they've been just pushed back to next fiscal year, right? Sometime. They've just shoved it in a pile and said deal with it later. And these games have been delayed because Ubisoft has just admitted that Ghost Recon Breakpoint sucked and nobody bought it and nobody wants to play it, and the community hated it so much that they are rethinking everything about the series, and just frankly the Division 2 didn't sell. I thought the Division 2 was fine, but nobody paid a lot of money for it, and nobody paid attention to it really, which is unfortunate because it's fun. Like they have systems in there that I think are great, but the game is a grind. And Ubisoft knows all of this, and they like it seems like they've just accumulated a lot of like player feedback and haven't said anything, and then now the bubble has burst, and like Ghost Recon Breakpoint was like as like nobody can take it anymore on their side and on our side, and they've just decided to delay it because they want to. I think that this gives them time to like tweak their formula, because Ubisoft games are formulaic as hell, and if you've played one, you've played them all. It's like you open world, climb a tower, reveal the map, get the things on the map, and then there's a story somewhere, you know? If this allows them to tweak their formula, this is another delay that I'm totally okay with.
I think some delays aren't good. I know that we're on like the delays are good train right now, but some delays kind of indicate that the game is kind of going down the shitter.
Yeah, keep going.
Real fast.
Like, what do you mean?
So, for example, I can't recall names off the top of my head, but like when creative directors of certain games like leave halfway through development, that's kind of like a warning sign. Like, okay. Metroid Prime 4, I know you brought it up. I'm sure like eventually, whenever it does come out, it'll be good. But the fact that they have to redo the whole game from scratch kind of tells me like what they had going on wasn't working.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, there some games like obviously they could do with a delay.
Right.
But at the same time, when a game does get delayed, I kind of like side eye it like, what's the reason? Because some aspects of a game you just can't fix.
Right.
No matter how hard you try. Just like I was saying with the Ubisoft stuff. I mean, they can delay it for a year or two, but at the end of the day, they can't change the whole core of a game within 2 years.
That's true. I think... So would you rather them... I don't know. You wouldn't rather them release the game. It's just you go into it more skeptical if it's been delayed? Okay.
I think I would prefer the kind of the Metroid scenario where they just start over.
Yeah.
And they don't like tell you when it's going to be done. They're just saying, hey, what we had was pretty bad.
Right.
We're just going to start over.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And I know that sucks because a lot of work goes into what they have. And it sucks to start over, and it probably costs a lot of money.
I was about to say it's a lot of time and a lot of money, yeah. Jeez.
But at the end of the day, when your company's reputation is on the line, do you want to be known as the company that releases bad games, a la EA, or do you want to take the time and release good games?
That's true. I mean, you talked about creative directors leaving. The creative director of like Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm just left Blizzard, and I know we weren't going to talk about Blizzard, but you brought it up, and I had to throw that one out there. BlizzCon next week, or this on Friday, folks. Be ready for that podcast.
Rough BlizzCon.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it'll be as bad as everyone's saying.
I don't think so either.
That's just me.
Well, let's talk about it, right? Like, what are we expecting from that? Like, I mean, I have nothing else on delays. I'm with you, Trex. I'm kind of in the same boat. It's like skepticism is warranted, I believe. Usually, I'd prefer the Metroid thing. I don't know. It seems like in recent years it's been more of a good thing, but I think that skepticism is healthy.
Yeah, because I mean, there has to be a reason the game's getting delayed.
Yeah.
They don't just delay it just to have fun.
True.
So something is wrong with the game when they delay it, and I think you take it by company basis on whether you believe in them to fix what's wrong with the game.
Yeah.
Like you said, Naughty Dog and Nintendo, they release good games. They're pretty trustworthy developers. So obviously, if they delay a game, we kind of know that it's for the polish, and we expect a certain quality from them. But when a company like, I don't know, Joe Schmo delays a game,
Classic Joe Schmo.
that hasn't released a good game in like 6 years, I'm gonna like look at it like, okay.
Yeah, like what are they doing? Yeah. Oh, Doom Eternal also got delayed. That's another. Doom Eternal isn't coming out in November anymore. Doom Eternal comes out like next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is one less game for Stadia to have when it launches, but that's cool. Stadia will be fine, and we'll talk about Stadia more at a later date, I'm sure. But yeah, back to the BlizzCon thing. I don't think BlizzCon will be that big either, or that bad. I'm interested to see how Blizzard controls, like, I'm sure that there will be some sort of dissent in the crowd. It'll happen. Like, that many people in one place, the outrage.
It'll definitely happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, man, I feel like we should talk about it. I think that Blizzard has handled the PR thing with this about as well as they could, because it's kind of blown over a little bit as far as what I've seen. Like, I feel like the outrage was a lot more when it happened, and now it's way less because I see a lot more people on my friends lists going back to Overwatch, and see more people playing Hearthstone again, and I see a lot more people watching World of Warcraft on Twitch and playing World of Warcraft on my friends list. So I feel like people are just back to Blizzard, but they're not talking about being back to Blizzard because they're also not talking about the Hong Kong stuff. So
yeah,
I'm with you, Trex. I don't think BlizzCon will be that big a deal, but I think they do have to address it.
Yeah.
Because I think
I don't know if they have to address it.
It'll be disappointing to me if they don't address it.
It's gonna be disappointing, but they're still in the situation of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they address it, they're just opening up the conversation for it again. Like you said, it's pretty much died down. Yeah. It's not as big as it was when it happened. I'm sure there are people expecting to hear a statement, but I don't think you're gonna get one.
Yeah.
BlizzCon is for Blizzard games, not for them talking about company policies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think I've expressed, like, I don't want to be careful because I can say this and it could come out really wrong. I don't see a problem with what Blizzard did necessarily, because technically you shouldn't be allowed to just say whatever you want whenever you get on the microphone. I think they should have made their policies a little bit more clearer, and I think that they should follow their own policies if they're going to enforce them on other people, because they have been known to get political themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So if they don't want politics involved with their games, they should probably abide by their own rules. But like I said last time, I mean, if once you open that gate, you're just going to get, eventually you're going to get a winner that's like, go Hitler or something like that, and then it's going to be a whole nother problem.
I mean, like, I feel like the problem for me was always that they reacted so fast, and so, like, it was, like, the punishment was severe. Like, they took the dude's money and stuff, and he had, like, played well and played fair, you know? And it was, like, that was always, for me, the biggest problem. I don't know. But, like, they took it back. I think that the punishment now is fair. I think the guy knew what he was doing going into it. He definitely knew he was breaking the rules.
Yeah, he fully expected to get punished.
And he said it.
He, like, accepted their apology when they released it. Like, no matter how, like, bullshit we think it is, the person that they banned and took the money from was like, thank you, Blizzard, for reconsidering your stance. I appreciate it. As far as playing in Hearthstone, we will see when my... He's not saying he's not never playing Hearthstone again. He said, we'll see once my ban's up.
And he'll be at Legends of Runeterra,
so like,
guaranteed. Legends of Runeterra just seems like a better game, but that's just me. Shout out to all these Riot games that I want tomorrow.
Well, it's not like Riot's the same.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. I had a conversation about that with some of the people in my animation lab today, and we were talking about that exact same thing. I mean, this has opened up the conversation a little bit more. I think every time something big like this happens, it's important, and people should pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. And I think it will be the giant silent elephant in the room at BlizzCon. It'll just be very interesting. I'm interested to see what measures they take to avoid as much of the conversation as they can. Because
there probably won't be.
No, it probably won't be. And I think because Belloar Gaming made a very good point, because he does a lot of World of Warcraft videos, right? And he talked about this whole situation, how they're probably going to handle it at BlizzCon. It's like, if you go into a Q&A with the World of Warcraft developers, like, I think you're right. Like, it's about Blizzard games, right? So it's like, why do you care what the World of Warcraft developers think about the Hong Kong situation? Like, it's not their call. Like, they're not the ones at the top of the company making decisions.
The developers were mad about it too. So it's
the devs are people.
If you go to BlizzCon and you're like yelling at the developers, you're just taking it out on the wrong people yet again, and then you're devaluing your point that you're making.
Absolutely.
Because you just come off as the angry gamer willing to yell at anybody about anything.
Yeah.
I honestly think that if they do Q&As, they'll just have to like tell the moderator their question. The moderator will. Say
Yeah,
it to them.
that's what I was thinking too. We mentioned that in our one of our podcasts. I think we're gonna be right.
Oh, we did.
No, I think we're gonna be right about BlizzCon. Is what I'm saying. I think we've been right all along. Chat.
We're always
Yeah,
right.
guys, you viewers.
Write that down. We're always
right.
right.
Always right every time.
Gamers, we've never been wrong.
But yeah, stay
And
tuned
we
for
never
the
will
Blizz.
be.
Ever.
Never. Nope.
Never.
We'll end
But
the
yeah.
podcast when we're wrong.
Yes. That
Yep.
pinky promise right now.
Mark our words.
I will be continuing the podcast on my own. I quite enjoy doing this. I know we've been wrong already. Please don't yell at us.
Oh,
Have
shit.
we? We probably were.
I've probably said something
I mean-
fucking stupid. Let's be real.
Jack did say Deadly Premonition was a good game, so I'll just end it at that.
Hey, don't! Oh, you're opening the can of worms. All right, and everybody, that's been the. I got nothing else on delays. Do you guys have anything else? No, cool.
Hopefully they don't delay Deadly Premonition too.
Hopefully they don't, Jack. If you, audience, viewers, if you want to get gamers, if you want to get in touch with us, our social links are around us right now. Let us know in the comments what games you've been disappointed by or elated by with the announcement of their delays. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. Helps YouTube know that we're here. And that being said, podcast out. Thanks for watching.
Like.
Smash like. Bye.
Bye, gamers.
Bye.
I did a really funny bit at the end where I walked off screen. Yeah, and then like you can even keep this part in of me explaining the goof, and then like